You know what separates dreamers from achievers? One word: risk. The moment you step out of comfort and into uncertainty, something powerful awakens inside you. The world starts to move differently. Doors that were once locked begin to open, and success starts chasing you. When you risk everything for your purpose, you tell the universe, "I'm all in." That kind of faith moves mountains. It's the same fire Kobe Bryant lived with: unshakable focus, relentless work, fearless heart. You may fail, you may fall, but every scar becomes a reminder that you dared to live fully. Don't wait for perfect timing. Jump, believe, fight for what sets your soul on fire, because when you give your all, life gives back more than you can imagine. Risk is the bridge between dreams and success. Every great story, every life that has touched the world, began with someone standing at the edge of the unknown, ready to take a step that scared them. Risk is not about recklessness, it's about courage. It's about trusting the unseen path when the world tells you to stay where it's safe. The moment you take that step, you activate something divine. The unseen forces of destiny begin to work in your favor. Dreams remain only dreams until you risk something for them. They live in your heart, waiting for you to give them breath. And that breath comes when you risk comfort, security, or reputation for the sake of something greater. Every dream requires a sacrifice, and that sacrifice often looks like risk. It's the decision to walk into uncertainty, believing that your purpose will catch you when you fall. Think about every innovator, every artist, every athlete who ever left a mark. They all risked something: time, pride, comfort, stability. Kobe Bryant risked being misunderstood, judged, even failing in front of millions, but his belief in his work ethic, his passion, and his purpose carried him forward. That's what risk truly is. It's faith in motion. It's choosing growth over fear, progress over protection, destiny over doubt. People often think success comes to those who play it safe, who calculate every move, who avoid mistakes. But the truth is, success has never chased safety. Success chases movement. It chases action. It chases the heart that beats faster when faced with fear, but moves forward anyway. Risk builds the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. Every step of risk is a brick of courage laid down across the waters of uncertainty. Without that bridge, dreams stay distant, shining but unreachable. Risk doesn't guarantee comfort, but it guarantees growth. And in growth lies transformation. When you risk something, your time, your money, your reputation, you learn who you truly are. You discover your strength, your persistence, your capacity to endure. You begin to understand that life doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards faith. Each risk taken with intention and belief carves out a new version of you, stronger, wiser, more aligned with your destiny. The discomfort of risk is temporary, but the regret of never trying lasts forever. Every dream whispers, "Come find me," but it never shouts across the river of safety. You have to cross the bridge of risk to reach it. The path may shake, the wind may howl, but the other side holds the life you've always imagined. You can't stand on the same side and expect new horizons to appear. Risk is the price of discovery. The universe meets you halfway when you move with courage. It rewards those who dare to believe that something better is waiting beyond the fear. Sometimes risk means letting go of people, of habits, of an old version of yourself. It means releasing control and trusting that life will catch you in ways you can't predict. When you take that leap, the ground beneath you begins to shift to support your vision. Doors open not because you waited, but because you walked toward them. That's the beauty of risk. It changes everything. It forces your mind to evolve, your spirit to stretch, and your heart to strengthen. You realize that success isn't a destination. It's the energy that meets you on the way, chasing you because you dared to move. Risk also reveals your faith. When you risk everything, you are saying to God, "I trust you more than I fear what might happen. And that kind of surrender transforms your path. You begin to attract opportunities, people, and moments that align with your boldness. Life responds to bravery. It doesn't move for those who stand still. It moves for those who step forward even trembling. Every time you risk something for your dream, you tell the universe you are serious, and the universe answers in kind. The truth is, the bridge of risk will always feel uncertain, but it is the only path that leads to true fulfillment. Success doesn't sit on the side of comfort. It lives on the other side of fear. Every giant leap, every breakthrough, every miracle begins when you say yes to uncertainty and no to doubt. The bridge may shake, but it holds. It always holds for those who walk it with faith, passion, and purpose. Faith multiplies strength in moments of fear. It is easy to be strong when everything makes sense, when the path ahead is clear, and when results come quickly. But true faith begins where logic ends. It starts when you face uncertainty and still move forward, trusting that something greater is guiding you. Fear tells you that you're alone, that you're not ready, that you might fail. But faith whispers back, you are not walking by sight, you are walking by purpose. In moments of fear, faith becomes your invisible armor, wrapping your heart with courage you didn't know you had. It's not about denying fear, it's about refusing to let it decide your direction. When fear tries to paralyze you, faith breathes movement into your soul. It reminds you that even the smallest step forward in faith is stronger than 1,000 steps driven by doubt. Faith gives you the strength to rise again when life pushes you down. It teaches you that every challenge is not meant to destroy you, but to shape you into someone unbreakable. Fear wants to shrink your dreams, but faith expands them. It makes the impossible possible, not because circumstances change overnight, but because you change inside. Faith multiplies what little strength you have, turning it into a force that moves mountains. Every person who ever achieved greatness had moments of fear. The difference was that they didn't let fear define their limit. They let faith define their possibilities. Kobe Bryant talked often about trusting the process, about believing in the work long before the results showed up. That's faith in action. When you practice, fail, and get up again, believing your time will come, you are exercising the muscle of faith. Fear will always be loud. It shouts doubts, it reminds you of your failures, it exaggerates your weaknesses. But faith speaks softly, and yet its voice carries the power to silence the storm within you. In the hardest moments, faith isn't about seeing light. It's about becoming the light. It's about choosing to keep going even when the world feels heavy. It's when your mind says, I can't, and your spirit answers, yes, you can. That inner conversation defines your destiny. The more you feed your faith, the less room you leave for fear. Faith doesn't mean you won't face pain, loss, or disappointment. It means you will face them differently, with calm instead of panic, with hope instead of despair, with strength instead of surrender. It changes how you see the battle. You stop asking, why me? And start believing, maybe this is preparing me. Faith and fear cannot live in the same space for long. One will always grow while the other fades. That's why in every moment of fear, you must make a choice. Do you water the voice of fear that tells you to stay small, or do you water the seed of faith that tells you to rise? Every prayer, every word of gratitude, every act of trust feeds your faith and multiplies your strength. Life will test you, but faith transforms those tests into testimonies. What once felt impossible begins to unfold because faith shifts your focus from what you lack to what you carry within. Faith also connects you to a divine source of strength. It reminds you that you were never meant to carry everything alone. When you reach your limit, faith reaches beyond it. It stretches you, supports you, and fills you with courage that defies logic. Sometimes it's as simple as saying, I don't know how, but I believe it will work out. That single belief can shift the atmosphere around you. It realigns your heart with purpose and invites grace to flow into your life. Faith multiplies strength because it roots you in trust, not in outcomes, but in the one guiding the outcomes. There will be days when your faith feels small, like a flickering flame barely holding on, but even that tiny flame can light up the darkness. The moment you choose to trust instead of fear, you ignite something powerful inside you. You realize that the same storms that once frightened you are now the winds that push you forward. That's the miracle of faith. It transforms weakness into wisdom, panic into peace, and hesitation into power. It teaches you that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. And the more you move, the stronger your faith grows, until one day you look back and realize that what once terrified you became the very thing that built your strength. Failure refines you, not defines you. Every setback you face carries a lesson that success could never teach. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the process that shapes it. When you fall, when your plans collapse, when your efforts seem wasted, something powerful happens beneath the surface. The fire of failure burns away pride, doubt, and fear, leaving behind a stronger, clearer version of you. Most people run from failure because they see it as a sign of weakness, but the truth is, failure is a divine tool. It molds your character, sharpens your focus, and tests your faith. Each time you fail, you are given a choice to quit or to grow. The ones who rise to greatness are not those who never fall. They are those who learn how to rise differently each time. Failure is the universe's way of asking, how badly do you want this? It demands resilience. It challenges your patience. It questions your belief in yourself. And when you choose to keep moving, even after everything falls apart, you begin to see failure not as an enemy, but as a mentor. It teaches humility, endurance, and wisdom that success alone can never provide. Kobe Bryant once said that everything negative, pressure, challenges, failure, is an opportunity to rise. That's the spirit of the Mamba mentality, to transform pain into power. Failure doesn't destroy those who embrace it. It builds them. Every missed shot teaches precision. Every defeat builds discipline. Every loss deepens gratitude for the next victory. Failure refines you by revealing what truly matters. It strips away illusions and forces you to reconnect with your purpose. When things don't go as planned, it's not the end of your story. It's the recalibration of your path. Failure also teaches empathy. When you've been broken, you learn how to see others with softer eyes. You become more understanding, more grounded, more human. It replaces arrogance with authenticity. Success without failure often breeds ego, but success through failure breeds grace. That is the kind of success that lasts, the kind that inspires others to keep going when life gets hard. Every failure carries hidden gifts if you are willing to look beyond the pain. It shows you what doesn't work so you can focus on what will. It strengthens the muscles of perseverance. It prepares you for greater responsibility and deeper purpose. Without failure, your victories would feel shallow. With it, they become sacred. Failure refines your dreams, your values, your character, and your faith until you are ready for the weight of your own greatness. Purpose demands total commitment. When you discover what you're meant to do, it asks for everything. Your time, your energy, your focus, your heart. Purpose doesn't accept half effort or occasional dedication. It wants your entire being. It's not something you visit when life feels convenient. It's something you live for, something that burns inside you every single day. The moment you commit fully, the universe starts moving with you. But as long as you hesitate, doors stay closed. Total commitment is what transforms intention into reality. It's the moment you stop trying and start becoming. When you give yourself completely to your purpose, distractions lose their power. You stop comparing your path to others and start focusing on the vision that lives within you. Purpose is not a hobby, it's a calling. It's the voice that keeps whispering even when you try to ignore it. It doesn't go away because it's tied to who you truly are. The reason so many people feel lost is not because they lack purpose, but because they don't commit to it. They keep one foot in safety and one in destiny, hoping for both comfort and greatness, but it never works that way. Purpose only reveals its strength when you give it your all. Total commitment means doing the work when no one is watching. It's practicing in silence while others sleep. It's pushing yourself when the results aren't showing yet. It's believing when evidence is missing. That's the kind of dedication that separates the extraordinary from the average. Kobe Bryant lived by that truth. He wasn't the best because of luck or talent alone. He was the best because his commitment never wavered. He showed up before sunrise. He studied his craft endlessly. He gave his mind, body, and soul to his purpose. That's the example of what happens when total commitment meets divine calling. Purpose will test you. It will demand sacrifices. You'll lose comfort. You'll face isolation. You'll battle doubt. But those moments are not punishment. They are preparation. The higher your calling, the stronger your foundation must be. Every obstacle becomes a way to prove how deeply you believe in what you're doing. Total commitment means staying true even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when no one believes in you yet. That's the kind of faith that moves mountains, the kind of fire that lights the world. When you commit fully to your purpose, you create alignment between your heart, your actions, and your destiny. You stop waiting for motivation and start living with discipline. You start attracting opportunities that match your energy. You become unstoppable because your focus is rooted in something eternal. Purpose doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for presence, persistence, and passion that never fades. When you go all in, success comes running. The moment you decide to give everything you have, the universe begins to rearrange itself around your intention. It's as if life has been waiting for your full commitment, and once you finally take that leap, everything starts aligning. Half-hearted effort creates half-hearted results. But when you pour your soul into something, when you give your time, your energy, your focus, and your belief completely, success can no longer hide from you. It begins to chase you because you've become magnetic to the very thing you've been pursuing. The energy of total commitment attracts opportunity, guidance, and breakthroughs that can't be found through hesitation or fear. Going all in means removing the safety net, stepping away from the mindset of what if it doesn't work, and replacing it with what if it does. It's the mindset of warriors, dreamers, and champions who understand that you can't win big while playing small. You have to bet on yourself even when the odds don't favor you. Success doesn't respond to wishful thinking. It responds to relentless faith and consistent action. It begins to move toward you when it recognizes that you're no longer testing the waters. You've already jumped in with both feet. The universe has a way of rewarding the brave, those who refuse to stand halfway between doubt and destiny. Kobe Bryant embodied this truth. He didn't play the game casually. He lived it, breathed it, sacrificed for it. He gave everything, not because it was easy, but because greatness demanded it. When you go all in, you develop that same level of focus. You stop waiting for motivation because commitment becomes your fuel. You stop asking for guarantees because you know that faith itself is the guarantee. You stop fearing failure because your heart knows that falling is still forward motion. Going all in doesn't mean you won't struggle. It means you've decided that the struggle is worth it. The moment you go all in, something inside you changes. You stop being divided between your fear and your purpose. You find peace in the process because your mind is no longer arguing with your heart. You understand that even the pain has meaning because it's part of the path. The effort, the sacrifice, the long nights, they all become sacred because they are signs of devotion to something bigger than yourself. When you give everything, life starts giving back in unexpected ways. You meet the right people at the right time. You find strength on days when you thought you had none left. You discover that success was never running away from you. It was waiting for you to catch up through commitment. Going all in also builds character. It forces you to shed the parts of yourself that settle for less. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop being comfortable with almost. You develop discipline that becomes your identity. People who go all in don't need external validation. They are driven by purpose, not applause. And that's exactly why success follows them. Success loves clarity. It loves energy. It loves the ones who show up every single day with conviction. When you go all in, you speak the language of success, and it can't help but respond. There is a sacred power in total surrender to your goal. It's not about control, it's about trust. When you give your all, you send a message to life that says, I am ready. That message activates a divine response. Doors open, paths clear, strength multiplies. You begin to feel carried by something greater than yourself. Your actions gain momentum because your spirit is aligned with your purpose. This is where miracles begin, not in hesitation, but in wholehearted commitment. Many people dream, but only a few go all in. The difference lies in courage. Dreams without risk remain fantasies, but dreams backed by all-in action become destiny. When you give everything, your effort, your heart, your faith, you step into a flow where success no longer feels like a chase. It feels like a meeting point between your purpose and your persistence. Life starts to chase you back with blessings, opportunities, and victories that were always meant for you. Because when you finally go all in, success has no choice but to find you.